We are here today to present a memorandum to the Cabinet Secretary of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action. This letter is an urgent action to protect women's dignity, safety and leadership in Kenya. As active citizens, we express deep concern over the rising cases of misogyny, harassment, intimidation and public humiliation targeting women and girls in Kenya, particularly women leaders. Sexist remarks, online abuse and degrading conduct by public figures continue to undermine the constitutional values of equality, dignity and inclusive leadership. Women leaders across the political divide have increasingly been subjected to ridicule, character attacks and demeaning commentary that diminishes their leadership and public service. This has been fueled by the deeply patriarchal nature of public leadership in Kenya, but also by irresponsible conduct by some women leaders whose actions have at times undermined the dignity and integrity expected of public office. We are particularly concerned by the recent remarks and conduct attributed to Karen Nyamu, a nominated senator from the UDA party, which raised widespread concern regarding sexualization of a minor. Such conduct is irresponsible, harmful, and inconsistent with the duty of public leaders to uphold the dignity and the protection of children. The response by the Senate has been insufficient given the gravity of the issue. Stronger action is required from all institutions responsible for oversight, ethics, and public accountability. These incidents come at a time when Kenya continues to face rising cases of femicide, gender-based violence, online abuse, and political intimidation against women and girls. Continued silence and inaction by the government agencies, and particularly the Ministry of Gender, the continued silence and the inaction by government agencies risk normalizing impunity. We therefore call upon the Cabinet Secretary for Gender to collaborate with relevant institutions to urgently conduct the following actions. Number one, we expect that the Cabinet Secretary for Gender publicly condemn all sexist, degrading and harmful conduct against women and girls. We expect that they ensure accountability for public officials whose conduct violates constitutional and ethics standards. Three, we are calling upon the Ministry of Gender to adopt and implement the Law Society of Kenya's sexual harassment and anti-bullying policy across all public institutions. Four, we expect that the Cabinet Secretary of Gender spearheads the development and implementation of sexual harassment and anti-bullying policies for all 47 county assemblies, the National Assembly, and the Senate within 30 working days from the receipt of this letter. Number five, we also expect that the Cabinet Secretary of Gender collaborates with the Victim Protection Board to establish safeguarding policies for all public institutions. And finally, and this is the most important one as at now, we are expecting that through the Office of the Cabinet Secretary of Gender, for this government to demonstrate renewed commitment to equality, dignity, and inclusion for all Kenyans, we expect that they issue via publication a public apology from William Ruto for the continued failure to adequately protect the safety, dignity, and rights of women and children in Kenya. Kenya cannot build a just and democratic society while women and girls continue to face humiliation, intimidation, and exclusion from public life. We must collectively reject the misogyny and defend the dignity, safety, and leadership of women across this nation. All of these things are happening in the background of all the international guests who are here. We have the Africa Forward Summit that is being attended by the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres of the United Nations. It is important that the country notes that the United Nations adopted the International Bills of Rights by the United Nations. In 1979, the Convention of the International Bills of Rights of Women was adopted by the United Nations to ensure that women and girls are protected. We have tried to talk to our president about protecting and safeguarding the rights of women and the dignity of the offices that women hold. And he's not listening. So we are calling upon the Secretary General of United Nations, Antonio, because you're in the country and you're sitting down with our president. We would like for you to tell him to respect the UN Convention on the Rights of Women, to safeguard women of this country. And as you go to launch the 340 million UN facility project, it is important that the world knows that in Kenya, women and girls are suffering a lot of harassment, sexual harassment, physical harassment and violence. And as the Secretary General of the UN is here to launch a $340 million facility in Nairobi for the United Nations, we want the United Nations to know that that 340 million is going to be worthless if you are building an institution, a public facility that will continue to violate the international convention that you yourself as the UN adopted in 1979. So therefore, we hope that in that 340 million, there is a budget that has been set aside. It is unfortunate that the government of the day has not come out to speak out against the very irresponsible remarks of Karen Nyamu. It's very unfortunate that this is not the first time government-associated senators and members of parliament have been seen misbehaving in public, and the president does not speak up on it. We want to know today, especially of all days, and this week, when the United Nations is here, as you are friendly with the Secretary General of the United Nations, we want to know, are you serious about safeguarding and protecting the rights of women and girls? Because if you're serious, certain actions must be taken. The women leaders, we have a lot of young leaders who are also looking up to us. We are really disappointed in the president. We are really disappointed in this government. We ask you to help this government to uphold the International Convention of the UN of safeguarding and protecting women and girls.
My name is Liz Ocheng, a student at the University of Nairobi, Secretary General of the Women Students' Welfare at the university. First of all, I'm very ashamed with the current situation in our country whereby the dignity of women is being undermined. Women in politics face very many challenges after being in those offices. The dignity of the offices the women in our country hold are no longer there, whereby you find that the women who already step out to represent us are being humiliated in public. Their dignity is not there. The respect is no longer there for our women in this country, and there is no one speaking about this one. All other activities in the country are being spearheaded, but looking back to our women, there is nothing being done in order for our women to be somewhere, and those who are already somewhere, there are a lot of trials and tribulations that faces them in their day-to-day activities.
My name is Rose Oda, a student at the University of Nairobi, and today I'm not here as a young leader or activist, but I'm here as a citizen who's really concerned about the dignity and the future of our girls and our women. Today we see the headlines. Day to day we get the headlines of women raped, women harassed. The dignity is not there. But you know what? These are not just headlines. These are lives that you're playing with. And as women, we expect to be protected. We expect to have representation. And it's okay, we have representation, but it's not a matter of quantity, but a matter of quality. We might have 20 women as leaders, but they are not protecting us. They are the same women who are sexualizing us rather than protecting us. So we are calling upon representation that's not only quantity, but quality and impactful, where we will feel protected and where we'll feel our voices are heard.
And I am deeply saddened by the state of the country regarding women, because it's not just in leadership but also in health sectors, in education sectors, whereby women are undermined. Women are becoming their own enemies, and also women are also being they're not being given opportunities that are supposed to be there.
And I'm here to emphasize that if we are not going to come out as leaders vetting the right representations that represent us in the biggest houses that we have on the land, then I think we are losing what we're supposed to. We are here to condemn at the strongest term possible the continuous tearing into our moral fabric as women. The wrong representation handpicked by individuals that are tainting the name of women of this country.
I think the resignation of Karen Nyamu is what we are waiting as early as today.
Yes.
We don't need an apology. You cannot apologize after messing up with my children.
Senator Karen, you are a mother, and your remarks were very wrong. We are calling upon the UDA party, the party that nominated Senator Karen, to take disciplinary action against her moving forward. Sisi kama wamama tumekataa. We want good representation in parliament. Now we would like to apologize to the young lady that was disgraced.
If we let those who are to protect our children becoming predators in parliament, then we have to talk to. It's so sad. Sometimes we get emotional when we are talking about this. The least that we expect from Karen Nyamu is to resign.
I would like to urge the people or the party that nominated Karen Nyamu to take action against her. I think it is long overdue for Karen Nyamu to hold any public office. And she's trying to be the Nairobi women rep. If that is the kind of leadership she's going to bring to us, then it is a very embarrassing situation.
Karen anapokuja saizi kutuomba kiti cha women rep, Karen tunataka kukuambia wewe ni embarrassment kwa wamama. Tabia zako Karen tumeziangalia, na nataka kuuliza Rais Ruto, what were the qualifications za nominate Karen? Ni hiyo kusheksheki yake ama ni nini ilikuwa inaangaliwa? Kwa sababu Karen hafai kuwa hata bunge. Karen hata hafai kuwa mama wa kijiji. Imfikie leo, na tunampatia vile alipewa na Eric Omondi 48 hours akuwe amefanya vile inastahili. Tunakuja kupatia red card Karen, na kwa ballot wakati huu ndaambia wamama, tunapoenda kwa ballot, ukiona Karen Nyamu, jua hicho chama kimemleta, kimekuangusha wewe kama mama.